lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Quantum Eraser, Stopping Traffic in My Rasta Hat, Sleeping Warrior, Peanuts Clark, Jose, Eric, Earth Flattener, Daniel, Arwin, and Anon. Good to have you all.
Anon, can you speak up?
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Hello.
Just say no to sock account.
Anyway, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let's rattle our way through housekeeping. Any signs of Earth curvature, gentlemen?
No.
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 Nope.
No. Any more for any more? Any signs of axial rotation? The Earth-based variety specifically?
No.
Nope.
No inherent motion. Nope.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
No.
Where you at, Daniel? Come on, Daniel.
I don't know. Things fall down.
Scientific
Is this
evidence.
Daniel in chat?
I haven't been in for a while.
Are you the same Daniel that trolls me like mad on my channel?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay then.
Yeah, well, anyway, that's not scientific evidence, so moving on. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Okay.
There is
I
no
mean,
distance to the sun.
it's repeatable.
No.
Sorry. The word
Distance to the
repeatable
sun.
does not make it scientific. Yeah, the word repeatable is hijacked from the scientific method. It comes from the part where you perform systematic experimentation. So being repeatable doesn't make it scientific. Okay? Excellent, moving on. Any signs of the distance to the sun?
There is no distance to the sun.
Nope. No.
Any evidence of gas pressure without a container?
Ever.
No.
There's a priority flash message that we have to get to. Are we done with housekeeping? Or
No. This is part of housekeeping. So if you've got evidence of gas pressure without a container, well, this is the point I want to hear about it. For
here,
certain.
I'll share my screen.
Okie doke. Hopefully this works.
Let me know when it's up.
Hooray. Yes, it does. Yes, it works. Yes, you're on.
So there's a new flash priority message from the Pretender Clown Globetards sent out to all its members, because I've been bombarded with this and I've been seeing this everywhere now for the past couple days. The answer, or I don't know if it's an answer, the comeback to the question, how can you have a gas pressure without a container, has led to this statement right here. Can everyone see this? The second law of thermodynamics only applies to isolated systems. This is the new comeback, folks. Really? This is tantamount to a neurosurgical candidate during an interview with the chair of neurosurgery suddenly exclaiming a cerebellum is a faculty of anaerobe woodpecker. For goodness sakes. Okay, let's take a look at this. From hyperphysics.edu. An isolated system implies a collection of matter which does not interact with the rest of the universe at all. And as far as we know, there are really no such systems. So what they're saying is that the second law of thermodynamics only applies to systems that don't exist. That's essentially what they're saying. They kind of haven't thought this through. So the principal pillar of physics, the second law of thermodynamics, see Einstein, only applies to systems that don't exist, right? That has to be, that's up there in the preposterous absurdity, ludicrousness. From the University of Queensland, the second law of thermodynamics places an observation of everyday life into a formal statement. Heat flows spontaneously from a substance at a higher temperature to a substance at a lower temperature and does not flow spontaneously in the other direction. So, globetards, according to you, the second law of thermodynamics only applies to systems that don't exist in everyday life. I mean, do you people reminisce with strangers? And Clown Show from Isaac Asimov, one of their chief pseudoscience priests. They put this guy, their statues in regards to this guy. Listen to what he has to say. In the game of energy and thermodynamics, you can't break even, from the Smithsonian Institute Journal. Another way of stating the second law, then, is the universe is constantly getting more disorderly. Viewed that way, we can see the second law all about us. We have to work hard to straighten a room, but left to itself, it becomes a mess again, very quickly and very easily. Even if we never enter it, it becomes dusty and musty. How difficult to maintain houses and machinery and our bodies in perfect working order. How easy to let them deteriorate. In fact, all we have to do is nothing, and everything deteriorates, collapses, breaks down, wears out, all by itself. And that is what the second law is all about. So, Globetard Pretender Clowns, can you tell us why Professor Asimov couches the second law of thermodynamics entirely in an Earth-based context, but you say the second law of thermodynamics doesn't apply to the Earth? Moreover, Dr. John Ross, Harvard scientist, chemical and engineering news. There are no known violations of the second law of thermodynamics. Ordinarily, the second law is stated for isolated systems, but the second law applies equally well to open systems. There is somehow associated with the field of far from equilibrium phenomena the notion that the second law of thermodynamics fails for such systems. It is important to make sure that this error doesn't perpetuate itself. So, are you saying that here on Earth, that is, according to your fairy tale, which is an open system, you get hotter and hotter the further you move away from a fire? Or that gases spontaneously enter into a pressurized tire when the pin is depressed? The street lights are on. Your mom is calling. In conclusion, listen closely, you daft, wiki parroting, pretender clown muppets. After this tear-jerking belly laugher, you could discover the cure for Ebola tomorrow, have monuments and statues dedicated and songs written in your honor. Yet if the fifth grade general science class got wind of your debacle above, you'd be belly laughed out of the class, straitjacketed, and escorted by security to Shady Meadows. Thanks for the belly laughs. My word.
Okay.
That's it.
John, I've got a question for you. John, let me just preempt what a baller would say, right? A baller would say, that's just another cherry-picked quote mine piece of nonsense quote from Quantum Eraser. So let's address that. Is that let's attack it from the baller's perspective, right? Is it cherry-picked quote mined or anything like that, that quote?
Which one? I've got a whole bunch of them in here, and they're not quotes, they're citations. I've got 1, 2, 3? 4? 4.
So there's 4 citations. There's no quotes. They're all citations.
Didn't you? Hang on. Didn't you
No,
quote?
there was a quote in there.
Yeah, there was a quote. It was the guy that said they apply equally well to open systems. That was a quote, was it not?
No, it's a citation. That's from
Can we get it back up on the screen?
Chemical and Engineering News, page 40.
Right. So can we use the empirical reference that you've used for that and bring it on screen, and let's just see that it's not been cherry picked, quote mined, or whatever. I know I'm doing this on the fly. But...
I don't.
I
don't
know
have
you
a
said
link.
this is what a glowtard would say.
Hello.
My question was going
Hello?
to be earlier.
One second, one at a time.
Okay.
Anthony, I don't have a link to this.
Oh,
Oh.
The only one I have a link to is...
right, that's why it's a citation then. But you were quoting what you said though, right?
No. It's still a citation. I just don't have the link.
Yeah, it's not a hyperlink. Okay.
Yeah,
it's from a guy, from someone that a guy. It's just got a name, right? Anyway, my question would have been from your definition of isolated system. Where did you get that? What is it?
Hyperphysics.
Because, I mean, if we just Google isolated system.
Why do you have to Google? I got hyperphysics.edu right here. It's looking at you right in the face.
Sure, but I don't think in a practical manner that any scientist uses that definition of isolated system.
How do you know what scientists use or don't
isolated system that still works?
How do you know what scientists use and don't use?
Well,
who are you?
Just practically common sense. It's impossible to have an isolated system in that definition. But there are isolated systems in the world.
Who is this?
Daniel.
What's your name again?
Dan.
Daniel. Are you that crayon muncher in the comments sections of Nathan's video?
I think he is.
I just pummeled you with this. Are you that same guy?
I think he is.
He's a wiki parroter. This guy can only parrot wiki, man. That's all he can do. Go on.
I don't link Wikipedia at all. I don't know what you're on about.
Well, you come up on the comments as Daniel.
I come up in the comments as my name and that is here. Yeah.
Do you come up on the comments as Daniel Marshall, or do you come up on the comments as Daniel?
Did you just reply to a comment from me this morning?
Might not be him, John.
It's not me.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Go on.
Although I did have the Wikipedia up.
That's okay.
So
that's all right.
I loaded up Wikipedia for second law of thermodynamics and clicked on that isolated system link.
Why do you need that link when I got hyperphysics link right here?
Just
because you want me to read it again?
That's not really a usable definition that I can't imagine
what are you
anyone
talking
would use
about?
in a common sense.
What are you talking about? It's right here.
That might be a definition of isolated
Oh my
system.
God, a definition? No, it's the definition of an isolated system.
You do have isolated systems in the universe.
Are you looking at this? Right? Right?
But the thing is, you skipped over the first thing.
Right? It goes over all the conservation laws.
Yeah, so then the question becomes, Daniel, what's the issue with that citation? Or is it that you want to cherry pick a different one?
Well, I just went on the one on Wikipedia that says a physical system so far removed from other systems that it does not interact with them. That doesn't necessarily mean it's isolated from the rest of the universe. It's just, you would say that a room that hasn't been touched, as you gave as an example, would be a close to isolated system.
No, it's not. What's an isolated system?
It's close to. It's not an
isolated system. No.
Let's just define a few terms. Sorry to interrupt, John. So, what is an isolated system, Daniel?
I don't have the exact definition. I didn't pick.
Sorry,
I didn't
hold
pick
on. Let me get this straight. You're arguing about his definition of an isolated system, but you don't know what one is. But you don't actually know what one is.
Yes, but that's exactly what my question was earlier. I was arguing about gravity, and when I asked you, you didn't have a second explanation. I mean, I don't have to have an explanation or a definition myself.
Are
I'm
you
not claiming
drunk?
to know one.
Are you drunk?
No. Although I
What
could
does that
do with a
have to
drink right
do
now.
with his charge against you?
Is charge? What?
Yeah, his
gravity
charge.
nonsense.
Oh my God!
I could try and keep up.
But you wanted to repeat that again to him, Nathan?
Yeah, go ahead.
Unbelievable. He's challenging me with what an isolated system is, but he doesn't have any clue what one is. And then your retort was to say that Nathan is also guilty because he didn't have an alternate explanation. Are you drunk?
Oh, actually, could you... Sorry, yeah, I don't need to give an alternate explanation if I don't have one. Like,
Oh my God.
I'm not claiming to know. But if you
no,
read the rest of
I
that
didn't ask
sentence
you for
that
an
you picked
alternate
the quote from-
explanation. You asked Nathan for an alternate explanation.
Yeah.
Do you know where are you?
Could you read the rest of that paragraph?
I can't. What did you say?
He's asking
Could
you
you
to read the rest
Read
of
the
it.
rest of the paragraph.
Why?
Well, if you trust this quote, then the rest of the paragraph might also
It's
be
not a quote,
trustworthy.
it's a citation.
a citation, sure.
If this was a quote, then this would be in quotations, and
Well,
then
when
my
you put it in your
citation
email, it
would
was a
have
quote.
as quoted in, right? So, did you
Yes,
graduate
it's
high
the
school?
citation on this page. Could you read the rest of that paragraph, please?
Did you graduate high school right before I read the rest of it?
I'm way past high school.
Or are you still in high school?
No, I'm past high school. Not that
Okay.
you need to know or care anyway, because
Well,
I
yeah,
understand.
because somebody who passed high school would automatically know if they've done just a simple research paper, right? Do you know a research paper has a works cited page and a bibliography? You understand that, right?
Yes, I understand this, but on your, if you go into the email that you had, in that situation, it is a quote. When you load
No,
up
it's
the page,
not. No, I just don't have a works
you-
cited page or a bibliography because I don't want to have
I'm
my
sorry,
post
is
or
there other quotation
presentations.
marks around
Excuse
that definition
me,
that you've highlighted?
I don't want to have my posts and presentations longer than War and Peace. So I post the citations directly in the body of the presentation.
Okay,
There
that's
is no
fine. Let's
difference.
move on from that. That's not really relevant to anything anyway. Could you read the rest of that paragraph?
There is no shield against gravity, and the electromagnetic force is infinite in range. But in order to focus on the basic principles, it is useful to postulate such a system to clarify the nature of the physical laws. In particular, the conservation laws can be presumed to be exact when referring to isolated system. Good?
Yes.
Now, how does that help your position? That's what I thought.
Can be presumed to be exact.
How does that help the position right here when you say the second law of thermodynamics only applies to isolated systems? When you drop an egg in the kitchen, it splatters all over the floor. Does that naturally fuse back together again without input from you? That is energy and intelligence. Welcome to the second law of thermodynamics.
I don't even why I'm arguing this point, because I don't believe that the second law of thermodynamics, it practically only applies to isolated systems anyway. That's I don't know why I'm arguing this. Just ignore me.
But you would agree that they would apply equally well to almost any system, so including
pretty much.
So an open system, it would equally apply.
Well, if that's the definition of isolated system, you can't have one of those in the real world. And conservation of, or the second law of thermodynamics does work and can be seen.
Excellent. So maybe you can answer me this.
Sure.
Do you believe in outer space?
Yes.
How is it possible that we have a gas pressure here without the necessary antecedent, a container?
Well, where would it? There is air around the Earth.
Yes, I know.
Where would it go other than that?
Sorry, don't ask me a question. Explain.
Okay.
Given that you believe in outer space, a vacuum, how is it possible, given your religious belief in outer space, that we have gas pressure here now, breathing it, without a container? How is that possible?
Please don't say gravity.
I mean, gravity. Sure.
Oh,
So
Sorry, did we not go through with this on the last show with you?
What,
Right.
gravity? The existence of gravity? Well,
No,
whether you believe in
no. The scientific validity, not your religious assertion. The scientific validity of gravity, of which there is. Bear with me. I know when people get to the devastating point, they want to talk all over it. I understand that. We already went through this with you. You have no scientific evidence of gravity. When the question was asked at the beginning of the show, you gave no response.
Right. Well.
So are you now going to piss in our
gravity
faces
has
and
been-
assert that gravity holds this atmosphere to the sphere Earth that you believe in? Are you literally going to piss that in my face again after not giving us any scientific evidence of it? Is that what you're about to do?
Are you expecting me to explain the scientific evidence?
Sorry,
right
I'm
now
expecting you to give me an example of gas pressure being maintained without a container, and if you cannot do so, explain why you have a religious belief in outer space.
And how you're
The
breathing right now.
container is essentially gravity.
Sorry, did you not understand the last annoyance where I said, are you going to piss it back in our faces? Listen up, dickhead. Do not piss this back in our face a third time. We went through it with you. You have no scientific backing for your assertion of your nonsense religion in gravity. Now, the fact that that first religious belief was taken apart before this one makes no odds. It doesn't mean that you can reassert it. It doesn't mean you can piss it back in our faces. So don't.
I will believe in gravity until...
I don't care about your belief, you stupid idiot. Shut your
is
mouth.
given.
This is not a religious forum. Do not assert your belief here. Do you understand what I've just said to you?
Okay. So
Good.
my explanation
Do
is based
not,
on...
do not
my
under
belief
any
in the existence of
circumstances,
gravity.
repeat your
So
religious
if you
belief again.
ignore my belief of the existence of gravity, based on scientific evidence, then you are
Oh.
ignoring my explanation
There is
for...
no scientific evidence for gravity. We just went through this.
Does he want a shot at the title?
Yeah, we
Okay,
went
I'll
through
ask
this. We
him.
don't need to do this again.
I don't want to humiliate him.
Are
It seems
we
like we
gonna
do it
have
on
this
every
circular
single show with
argument?
idiots that just want to piss it back in our faces. Their religious belief. Okay, Sunbeam, you asked for it. Let's hear your scientific evidence for gravity.
Is he
I-
seeing?
I
Wait
I
one
can't
second, Daniel.
explain, like, if you don't already understand that gravity...
No, we're not asking for an
I'm not gonna
explanation.
try and-
We're asking
Do you
for
not
Give it-
understand the
an
word
explanation.
scientific evidence? Why are you telling us that if I
Right, I'll
can't
just-
understand...
I'll just
Shut up! Why
let
are you
out my
telling...
box.
Shut up! Why are you telling us that if we don't understand your explanation when we've specifically asked for scientific evidence? Do you have a problem with English?
Clearly.
No.
Hello? Do you have a problem with English?
No.
Right. So when I say scientific evidence, why do you substitute it for the word explanation?
How would you like this scientific evidence produced?
Excellent. Over to you, John.
Yes. So I wanted to save this from yesterday.
Oh, right, okay. We're back to this.
No, this is perfect. He joined the
that's
show explaining that he had seen the last show with Rumpus and he agreed with the hypothesis given, but just thought we misunderstood it. So
No, that's not what I said.
no problem. My bad. I'll step back, John. Just delete the whole lot. We'll start from fresh.
No, don't. That'll take forever.
No, it's okay. You've claimed we've got scientific evidence after I've shouted at you and demanded that you do not piss it back in our faces. You then pissed it back in our faces and declared it as your belief, so you're a religious zealot. Now you're going to back what you've claimed. You've said there's scientific evidence. Now give it us.
Natural phenomena observed, please.
Mass attracts mass. That's fine.
All right. Alternative hypothesis. No, that's fine. That's fine. Do we want to go over? Can you define mass? Because I don't think you could see it. Right?
Absolutely. No, he's not getting an easy ride. Let's define
Oh,
terms,
He's not
please.
observing mass.
Sorry, let's just define some terms. If he says mass attracts mass, what the hell is mass?
Body of matter.
Try
Can
and
you
be
define
more
it?
No,
Need a bit more
let's not laugh at
explanation.
him.
Why?
He's
Why?
cooperating.
Guys, you do
Why
realize
does if you don't know what mass is, then there's something wrong.
I'm
No,
not doing this,
then
you
tell us,
stupid
do you
bonehead.
know what mass is?
Sorry,
we want to
you're
know,
the
do
one
you
doing
know what
this.
mass is?
You're defining it. This is your scientific evidence. Don't tell us that we automatically need to know your terms. Just tell us them.
I'm fine with that definition on the screen.
No, there's no definition.
You do
of mass on
realize
this.
It says mass is both a property of a physical body and a measure of its resistance to acceleration.
Okay, I
Yeah.
see now.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Listen, people in the background, shut up. Okay? All right. Thank you. Mass. Do you see these definitions here? You have two definitions, one for inertia, one for mass. You said this is a good one, right? Let's roll with this one. However, this definition right here and this definition right here is exactly the same. However, we got two different words for that same definition. So that's a problem, right?
Why?
Well, you can only have one definition for each word.
Two
You
words can mean
understand
the
that
same thing.
concept?
Essentially,
Yeah,
that's not really a problem.
yeah, it is a problem.
Why?
Because
I don't
why?
understand why.
Because you don't
It's the reason you
understand
use the word
that you can't
essentially.
have two definitions for a single word, or two words with the same definition. That's a problem. However, we're not going to belabor that. Let's go back and
I don't
train
think
Ricky
that's-
here, right? We'll do the same thing as we did yesterday. This is the real meat. Okay, mass attracts mass, natural phenomena. We'll let you have that. I don't think you could see it, right? But that's okay. What's your alternative hypothesis, please?
Just as a question, are we going through this as if we don't know that gravity is a thing?
Sorry, we are trying to get to the stage where we have some scientific validity for gravity. So this would be the scientific method. So we've started with your observed phenomena. That's step one. Now we're formulating a hypothesis. That's step two. You claimed science, did you not?
Sure.
Right, so get on with it.
Okay. Probably don't delete all of that. Just change the is equal to and put it to proportional. Or is proportional to. Product of two masses multiplied by... No, just product of two masses divided by the distance between two masses squared.
Two masses and delete this, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because I already told you have to delete it because you're begging the question, right? That's okay. I got you. Okay, delete this.
Yes.
Okay, good. You saved yourself from a begging the question fallacy from the Black Lagoon. So the force, so let me just say it to you, and if this is correct, give me a yes or a no. Alternative hypothesis, the force between masses is proportional to the product of the two masses squared. Is that correct?
No. The force between masses is the product of the two masses divided by distance between the center of mass.
You just told me to friggin' erase that. I'm not.
Oh, right. I meant the gravitational constant bit. I didn't realize you were deleting the rest of it. Sorry.
Hold on. We're trying to prove gravity, and you've got gravity in the hypothesis. The scientific prediction includes the very thing that you're trying to prove as part of the hypothesis. Is that correct?
Sorry, what?
Oh my goodness gracious. Do we need to start over at the beginning? I'll tell you what. I'm going to get this out of here because
Can you just put the equation?
no, I'm not putting the equation because equations are not hypotheses. For crying out loud. Do you know what a hypothesis is? Let's go down here. We got to do it. I'm sorry. Sorry, folks out there. A hypothesis. The hypothesis should also contain a prediction about its verifiability. For example, if the hypothesis is true, then 1 should happen when 2 is manipulated. The first blank is the dependent variable. It depends on what you're doing in the second blank. And the second blank, number 2, is the independent variable. So in your hypothesis, you need a dependent and an independent variable. Let's try this. Maybe this will make a little bit more sense. It gives a full explanation of what a hypothesis is.
What I would put in the hypothesis.
So, okay. Formalized hypotheses contain 2 variables. One is the independent and the other is the dependent. The independent variable is the one you, the scientist, control, and the dependent variable is the one you observe and or measure the result. Notice there are 2 parts to a formalized hypothesis. You see this? 2 parts. Not 3, not 10, not 50, 2. The if portion contains the testable proposed relationship, and then the prediction portion is the expected results of an experiment. An acceptable hypothesis contains both aspects, not just the prediction portion. So, we already have your dependent variable because you gave it to us with your observed phenomenon. You see this mass attracts mass? That is ipso facto your dependent variable. So we got that one. Now we need the cause, the independent variable.
So
Maybe it's easier that way. Just give me the independent variable and then we'll make the hypothesis.
Or to put it another way, what causes mass attracting mass?
We don't know.
Sorry, what the hell are you doing?
Bingo.
This is supposed to be your scientific evidence.
Science as a whole does not know. And
Sorry, science doesn't know things. It's a method. It doesn't know stuff. It's a method. This is supposed to be your scientific evidence of gravity, isn't it?
No, science is a religion for them.
The hypothesis in the chat, if you want to just copy in.
Just tell us. You've got your observed phenomena. What's the problem?
I typed what the alternative hypothesis would be in the chat.
Well, read it out then.
Is it not easier to copy and paste?
Just read it.
Slowly.
I just remember it took forever to type this out yesterday.
Then reading it should be faster, right?
Well, no, because someone else has to type it.
Get on with it.
Don't worry about our touch typing skills. Just read it.
The force of gravity between 2 masses is proportional to the product of the 2 masses divided by the distance between the center of the masses squared.
I had that in there. You told me to delete it.
That was what Rumpus said, exactly.
You also had multiplied by the gravitational constant.
Sorry,
okay, read it real slow. I'm going to put it back in.
In the scientific prediction, we've got to multiply by gravity. The thing we're trying to get scientific validity for is part of a math.
I took that out.
Okay, have him say it again, Nathan,
No
slowly.
problem. Repeat the alternative hypothesis, please.
Force of gravity between 2 masses.
Force of gravity between 2 masses. Okay, go ahead.
Is proportional to the product of the 2 masses divided by the distance
Hey, correct that typo on the word 2, John.
between the center of masses squared.
What? This is right. 2 masses. This is
between
correct.
2 masses. Like you have TO, it should be like the number, like 2, like TW.
The top line, John. Yeah.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, right there.
Sorry about that.
Good deal.
Sorry, could we change? I misworded at the start. The force due to gravity at the start instead of of. My bad. Mistyped.
That's a little buttery, don't you think?
Well,
That's don't you think that's a little slippery statement? Forces due to gravity. I mean, that's kind of,
It seems scripted to
well,
me.
no,
It's been
that
scripted.
yeah,
that
that
is-
seems a little begging the question.
Hold on.
That
let's
is
just,
what-
But that's
well, no
okay. That's
problem,
okay.
no
Let him
problem.
go. Let him go.
Gravity-
Let's finish it.
Let's just finish it off.
Okay.
Go ahead, John.
Let me delete this. This is still.
So, I'm a bit confused. So, what's the independent variable?
He's assuming a cause in his alternative hypothesis by saying the force due to gravity.
That's okay. That's okay. Let him
That's
go.
okay,
Let him go.
yeah,
We're gonna
so-
get to that.
So, is gravity your independent variable then, according to this alternate hypothesis?
No.
It's not.
So-
It's due
sorry.
to.
Hold on. We're
Okay.
trying to prove gravity, are we not?
Yes.
Okay, then.
Yeah. The cause of mass attracting mass, according to your alternative hypothesis up here, is gravity. So the cause, the independent variable, is gravity. Has to be.
He
Unless
could
you
take
make
out the
another
words the
alternative
force
hypothesis.
due to and just put the gravity
hold on,
between two
everyone,
masses.
Shut up. I want to hear him. I want to hear the guest that's formulating it, Daniel. His alternative hypothesis has gravity as the independent variable. Correct, Daniel?
Mass is the independent variable.
Oh, sorry, no, mass attracting mass is your observed phenomena. That's your dependent variable, and the thing that you are trying to vary and manipulate to cause that would be the independent variable. And in your hypothesis, the force due to gravity, that would be your independent variable.
Yes. Unless you're changing your
hold on,
alternative.
John. I need Daniel to confirm this to us. I want him to say the word gravity so we can write it next to where it says independent variable as per his alternate hypothesis. Is that correct, Daniel? What you have just given us as your alternate hypothesis, you took a long time to write it. The independent variable in that hypothesis is gravity. Correct?
From what I've written there, yes. But
No buts. We're just establishing.
I would like
no further follow-up
back on
needed.
my change.
No further follow-up needed. We're just trying to write it down at this stage. So we can write the word gravity next to the words independent and variable. Okay, Daniel?
Sure.
Excellent. Only took 10 minutes, unlike Rumpus.
Yeah, that did take.
Okay. Now, hands up who can see a problem.
Ding, 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 ding.
Go ahead.
Gravity's caused by gravity. That's all.
No, mass attracts mass is caused by gravity.
Oh, right. Sorry, Daniel. I'm glad you answered. So, tell us again
That's based on what you said.
Daniel, tell us again what makes an independent variable an independent variable.
Don't know.
You said it earlier. I pointed out that it's also the cause. You also told me something before that. What did you say an independent variable was? You've already told us once. It's not a who's got a good memory quiz. The clue is in the name. Independent variable. There's a clue for you.
Change it.
Oh, sorry. Do you want to speak up a bit, Daniel?
Change it.
You can... What, sorry?
Change it.
Change it. Excellent. So this independent variable is going to be varied and manipulated. Let me know how you're going to vary and manipulate gravity.
We need a medic. He's bleeding.
Let's hear his answer. Let's hear his answer.
That is a potential independent variable. But to do the experiment, what you would do is have a mass as one of the independent variables.
Sorry, that's your phenomena. You're trying to cause that by varying and manipulating your independent variable. So let's not worry about what happens with the mass.
A variable.
Shh, listen up. Explain how you will. See where it says A?
I feel like this is just a
shut
really
up and listen. See where it says A?
process. It's not actually going to
Shut up.
prove.
Now you're rumpusing me, you see? This is because you're losing. Don't be a bad loser like Rumpus. Just listen. It says A dot independent variable, open brackets, quote, the cause, / varied and manipulated, close brackets. And then it says gravity. So let's stick to that particular sentence and explain to me how you will vary and manipulate, not mass, gravity.
You can't vary and manipulate gravity itself.
Oh, so it's not variable and manipulatable by you, the researcher. So you can't vary and manipulate your independent variable. Do you know what that means?
It's not. If you look at the alternative hypothesis,
do you know what that means?
To the two
do you know what that means, Sunshine? This is the don't rumpus me. Listen. Do you know what that means?
What? Independent variable?
No. You've just said I can't vary and manipulate it, and I'm asking if you understand the consequences of that.
Daniel, if it helps, the Rumpus claims that you are wrong, Daniel. Gravity is the dependent variable, he says. You can manipulate it by increasing and decreasing the mass. Onto Rumpus.
So let's just get that clear for the audience. According to Rumpus, the observed phenomena, the thing that we will go out and observe in the natural world, is gravity. What a complete bonehead. What a complete retard.
What colour is gravity?
So let's just insult Rumpus a little bit more. Let's think of a few insults for what that was as a statement. I would say retarded. What would you say, John?
I'm speechless.
Yeah. It's left John dumbfounded. Any other names for what that would be, saying that our observed phenomena, the thing we go into the natural world and observe, is gravity? Anybody else got any comments on that?
Battery.
Intentional obfuscation.
Well, the idea of mass attracting mass is essentially gravity. I mean, it's not.
Sorry, we've gone through your formula.
You're just stating that.
Daniel, we still haven't had an answer for my question. Do you understand the implications of you not being able to vary and manipulate your independent variable? What's the consequences of that, Daniel?
You're probably going to say it's not a scientific process or something like that.
That's correct, Daniel. You don't have science for this gravity you claim.
And Daniel, why would we say that? Why?
Daniel, Rumpus is going to get you.
Rumpus gets everyone.
Come on, Daniel. Let's hear Daniel say it. Why would we say that? Why? Work it out.
I don't need to labour the point. Sorry, we've established it. So we're back to the gas pressure without a container, Daniel. So we've firmly established, contrary to your assertion that you have gravity holding the gas pressure onto the Earth, we don't. You don't have scientific validity for this religious belief, and we don't have religious beliefs here. So we'll go back to that question that we originally asked about the gas pressure without a container.
Okay, but there is no other explanation.
Sorry, Daniel, you have a religious belief about outer space. And I've asked you, having discussed both of your religious beliefs about entropy and your religious beliefs about gravity, now I'm asking the question again, having took a very long time to take you through it. It's been tedious. So, now we've established firmly that you don't have science for gravity. I'd like to ask you again, how do you have gas pressure without a container?
Nathan, 1 second before you say that. What he did provide, he provided an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy as his hypothesis just previously. If P then Q, Q therefore P. If gravity exists, P, larger masses attract smaller masses, Q. We observe larger masses attract smaller masses, Q, therefore gravity, therefore P. Affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy.
The full gift right
Thank you.
there.
Thank you.
With a
Sorry for
bow.
any interruption. Go ahead.
So, we've established firmly you have no scientific evidence of gravity, which was your explanation, despite us asking you on 3 separate occasions not to piss it in our faces. You did. Now we've taken you through it in baby steps. You don't have scientific validity for that assertion. So I'd like to know how, in your fairy tale world of a ball Earth in a vacuum of space, how we have gas pressure, we all accept that bit, without a container. Given that entropy definitely takes place in open systems, Daniel. Take your time.
He might
Without
have
I don't
gravity.
know an explanation other than use of gravity.
Sorry, what did you just say? Did you just piss it in our faces again? Don't tell us what you don't know. Don't tell us just because your fairy tale religious belief says it's gravity that you don't know any other explanation. Tell us about what does explain it, because gravity does not. You don't have any scientific validity to that assertion. It is a religious belief. So let's get on to the former religious belief, the vacuum of space. You believe, religious belief, that there's a vacuum of space. Now, I want to know how I'm still breathing, given that your religious belief dictates that there's no barrier between us and the vacuum. How am I still breathing, Daniel, given that we have entropy? Hello? How am I still breathing? Why hasn't the entropy taken effect, given that there's a vacuum there?
I don't know the answer to everything. I don't.
So why do you believe it then?
That's fine. I'll leave.
Why
I'll leave
do
it.
you believe it then? That's fine. I understand. You don't know why you have a religious belief in this shit. So why have you got a religious belief? Why would you still assert it?
Well, plants like electrolytes.
I want to hear Daniel's answer. Why do you still believe in this fairy tale of a vacuum existing next to the gas pressure we believe? Why would you believe that?
Because it does work. It makes sense.
Sorry, what do you mean it does work?
Okay, wait.
It does not work. It defies entropy. We've just taken you through this. It doesn't work, Daniel. Are you slow? Sorry, are you going to tell me again that it works?
If I say gravity here and you say useless, then you can't actually make any progress.
Sorry,
ever.
you haven't proven gravity. We've got
without
two,
going through the whole
Daniel,
process,
we've got
you
two
never
religious
actually get to the
beliefs.
answer.
The first religious belief is space. Now, when we say how does space work, given we have entropy, your answer is gravity. So, you're on to a second religious belief. Your first religious belief fails, and your second religious belief fails. So, why would you have this religious belief?
I haven't seen a valid alternative.
So, given that it's all you know, it must be true.
Okay.
Wow, how pathetic.
Can you show me a
Sorry,
valid
that's
alternative?
pathetic. That's pathetic.
Why would you turn it around on him?
That's absolutely pathetic.
I don't
So
see
because it's all you
anything
know...
that would mean that it doesn't work.
There's a scene in a film called Billy Madison where the teacher asks him about why the crocodile has so many teeth.
Wait.
And Billy Madison explains
Daniel,
that his mom told
something to
him
Daniel?
that the crocodile's got all those teeth and is so unhappy because he hasn't got a toothbrush. And it's all Billy Madison knows. But all the children laugh at Billy Madison because despite the fact that that's all Billy Madison knows, it's not true! It doesn't make logical sense. And like gravity, and like your fairy tale of outer space, it makes no sense. It has no evidence, just belief. So we're saying, why would you maintain this belief given that there's no backing for it?
Nathan, let's tell Daniel that there are religious people here. For example, Arwin he states that he has a religious belief. But you see, Daniel, the difference is...
What?
You said you have a religious background. No?
We're getting sidetracked.
Excuse me?
No. Listen, there's nothing wrong. What I want to say is there's nothing wrong with belief, Daniel. But you can't go and claim it as science. If you want to
Wait a
believe,
second.
that's
Wait a second. He not only has a belief, in something. He has a belief in something that is a direct violation of the second law of thermodynamics. Let's get that straight.
Right. Well, I mean, there's in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with belief as long as we can man up and admit it is my belief, it is my faith, I like it. Good for you.
Can somebody cue up the Gravity song that IRM usually plays? I think this moment calls for at least a moment of gravity.
As much as I might
Listen,
I want to agree with your sentiment, Eric, but there is a problem. Here, there is a problem with beliefs. Here, we ask for scientific validity to things. So, no, there is a very real problem with that. I'm not interested in his religious belief in gravity.
Right, I get that.
I'm not interested in his religious belief in space. What I am interested in is scientific evidence of any of these things that are taught to children on a daily basis.
Well, it seems like he's just admitted it. And I would like to hear him say, yeah, it is a belief. And then good. I think we'd all be happy if he just says, listen, I have faith in it. It's my belief system. I don't have evidence. I don't have
Fair enough. That's fair enough. So, Daniel,
can you do that, Daniel?
Do you accept that you have a religious belief?
I can accept that I don't understand the specific scientific process for gravity, so I understand, or I am happy with its explanation of everything that I see around me, and that's it.
Sorry, it doesn't have an explanation. It has a parlor trick and some mathematics. That's not scientific validity. That's as good as Mystic Meg telling you something. Do you not realise that?
A parlor trick?
We've been wanting you to give us the explanation for half an hour, and you haven't done it. That's what we've been asking you for.
Well, I said when I joined, I do not know the answer to everything. I don't know the exact scientific process that went round to find that gravity existed.
We didn't ask you whether you had the answer for everything. You came on here and claimed the evidence for gravity, right? So let's get on what you actually said.
He actually said the evidence for gravity is gravity.
Yeah.
Right.
In other words, Eric, you see, we weren't at that stage. This is, he still thinks the explanation given is acceptable, despite the fact we've just ripped it apart, set it on fire, and pissed on it. He still thinks it's okay.
No, and he's still very far from admitting that he's part of a religion, just because it's not the mainstream saying that. Well, science is a religion. No.
No, I think John was generous at first in asking him what his level of credential was, because I really, at this point, have a hard time believing that he's thrown up the tasseled hat and seen it, stop in midair. I don't think he's had that moment in life.
I'm on my way to that.
Okay, so you haven't had the moment where you throw your hat in the air and it stops there and you can see that gravity's full of shit.
It stops there, but then it also falls back down to Earth.
You like to dance, don't you, Daniel?
Daniel, gravity is an aberration. Different elements that just happen to give a suggestion that it's a unified whole, but it's not.
All right, sing it with me, Daniel. I might have gravity on my side, but something's holding us high. Got the potential to fly.
Does anybody think that Daniel's got any closer to accepting that it's just a religious belief he's got in this shit?
At one point, he did kind of admit he doesn't know, but then he had to throw his 2 cents in.
Then let's just do the prayer and get it over with, for God's sake. Let's just do the freaking prayer, give him his blessing, and then let him sod off into the sunset.
Do we give you your blessing, Daniel?
Could I ask John?
Spiritus Sanctus Gravitus.
Hold on. No, he might need some more coaxing. He might still...
Dominus.
You don't know the prayer? You haven't been keeping up to date.
Sorry, John, do you want to just read out...
I'm new to this flat Earth argument thing.
Well, you're clearly new to the globe Earth argument because you haven't presented one.
John.
Well, my idea of gravity is that things fall down.
Oh, really? That's fascinating.
That's
We're
your
gonna give a crap about your
A
ideas.
third grader's understanding of gravity.
Right, that's lovely.
But it's Daniel, it's a conceptualization. It's a conceptualization.
A minute
it's
ago,
not
we had scientific.
actually a thing.
A minute ago, it was science. Now it's his idea. Wonderful, Daniel. We'll build some theories on your ideas, shall we?
I've got a question for Daniel.
This is an anniversary gift for the show.
I've got one question for Daniel, followed by one question for John. Daniel, if you have one variable in an experiment, is that a correlation or a cause? In contrast to 3 variables.
One variable in total.
Yeah, if you only have the one variable, is that a correlation or is it a cause?
One independent variable, be specific.
Sorry, independent variable, you're right.
Well, that's... Oh, what? Okay, yeah, one independent variable.
Yeah, does that give you a correlation or does it give you a cause?
Thinking.
Cause.
It gives you a cause?
Yeah.
Right, so correct. John, my question to you is from the Rumpus. He says, in the case of one variable, it is just a correlation, you utter moron. For all you know, invisible green pieces could be the cause.
Utter.
Yeah, he only said it once this time. But John, the Rumpus thinks that one variable is just a correlation. Is he correct?
I'm speechless.
Yeah, I'm speechless. Daniel, explain to Rumpus why he's wrong.
What independent variable?
Yeah, one variable.
Multiple variables with gravity.
In the case of one variable, Rumpus believes it's just a correlation.
It might help
Daniel.
if it comes from me, Anthony. So if we have,
Well,
you've already answered the question. If you have one variable, you have a cause. Correct, Daniel?
That changes force gravity.
Yeah, one variable, independent
There are 3 different variables that you can change.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. In a scientific experiment, if you have one variable, you have the cause. Correct, Daniel? Not a correlation, a causation. Correct? You've already answered yes.
Yes, sure.
Come on,
I'm
Daniel.
not ready.
Right. So, if you have one variable, you have a cause. If you have multiple variables, you have a correlation.
So therefore, Daniel, you want to tell Rumpus that he's wrong? Because he said that it's just a correlation if it's one cause.
Oh, look,
Do we
he's
want
in chat right
do we
now.
want to go over this?
Hey, Anthony, and everybody else.
Sorry, Rumpus.
Who wants to take
I'm
a
not
bet
gonna
that
do well.
the globe religion is going to splinter into 2 different churches like we saw with the Catholic Church?
Nathan, do you want to go over this? Do we want to go over this complex hypothesis right here? I have it set up.
Yes, definitely. It's on screen.
Okay, sure. And it's screen shared?
Yeah, everyone can see it.
Okay. From the medical dictionary, a complex hypothesis examines the relationship between 2 or more independent variables and 2 or more dependent variables. This nonsense right here is employed in, like I said, epidemiological studies. They are correlations. Remember, correlation does not equal causation. From Cornell, epidemiological studies can never prove causation. That is, it cannot prove that a specific risk factor actually causes the disease being studied. Epidemiological evidence can only show that this risk factor is associated, correlated with a higher incidence of the disease in the population exposed to that risk factor. The higher the correlation, the more certain the association, but it cannot prove causation. Thanks for your ear. Have a nice day.
So
It's statistical trial and error.
Before Nathan rounds out, Daniel, you still there?
Yes.
Could you tell me your number one evidence for living on a space monkey spinning cartoon ball? Your number one.
I would say the sunset and sunrise.
Sorry, that the sun setting. So not the earth turning, but the sun moving over your head.
The
Contradiction to
goes beyond
heliocentricity.
the horizon.
The sun doesn't move, and we move around the sun according to heliocentric fantasy.
Yes, I understand that, but we still call it a sunset because
We get so
the
you're
horizon.
the sun coming up the sun appearing and disappearing on a daily basis is proof of fall. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So equally, if you went and got in, let's say you were born in a forest, right? And every single day you get up, the lights come up, and all around you are trees. They're there every single time you wake up. Does that make you a tree?
He's balsa wood.
This question.
Yeah, it's funny, Daniel, because that's literally your logic.
Well, yeah, okay. My logic behind the sunset is the Earth. Would you agree that a horizon is always below the horizontal from your vision?
The horizon is the... hold on, Daniel. The horizon is an apparent position where the sun, or where the sky meets the ground. An apparent position. It's not a physical place.
If you look over the sea...
Are you going to acknowledge what I've just said? Or are you just going to completely
always
ignore
below
it?
the horizontal.
Sorry, are you going to acknowledge what I've just said or completely ignore it?
He'll ignore it.
So, did you hear what I just said?
Nope.
Repeat.
Let's see if he did. Let's see how dumb he is. Can he listen when he... Let's see if he can. What did I just say about what the horizon actually is, Daniel?
I didn't listen. I asked, could you repeat it, please?
No problem. The horizon is an apparent position where the sky meets the ground. It is not a physical location. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, then.
If you look... can I continue? Yeah.
It depends. Are you about to tell us to look at an apparent position somewhere that will change depending on our position relative to things? Or
why does it matter if it's apparent or not?
Oh, it doesn't?
Because if it's apparent, it's not real.
Anyway, if you look at the sea, as far out as you can see, would you agree that the sea is always below the horizontal of your vision?
Sorry, what the hell are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
What does that even mean?
If you draw a perpendicular line to the Earth, and you look at the sea is always below that line, right?
No.
What? So
when you look out over the ocean meets the sky, for God's sakes. Give me a goddamn break.
The ocean is always below the parallel line to the Earth, right?
Sorry, you're talking about an apparent position.
No, I'm not.
And you're saying it's always somewhere. You're saying it's... Listen, you're telling us that it always has a specific designated place. It's an apparent position. How many times have I got to say it? Are you dumb? Do you know what an apparent thing is? As opposed to a physical thing?
I'm not talking about the horizon.
Yeah, it's not a physical thing. It's not always anything. You understand that?
Oh my God.
It is always horizontal and level.
If you... I don't know, I have to ask this question several times.
Please,
well, you've been asked for your best sphere proof. And so far, we've got look at an apparent position in the distance. That's what we've got so far.
I'm not. I'm saying, if you look parallel to the Earth, over the sea, parallel, intersecting with your eye line, the sea is always below that line. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And what's your point?
Fine.
Is this really your number one proof of a globe?
Yes, because then if you look at the sun, that is apparently, according to you, a few thousand miles above that.
What do you mean according to me? What do you mean according to me? You find me a quote where I've said that.
All flat Earth models.
Sorry, excuse me. Find me a quote.
Flat Earth. There we go. Flat Earth.
Listen to me. Find me a quote where I've said that.
The sun is...
What you just said, I
assume
say
the sun is
stuttering.
a physical, literal location anywhere. It's an apparent visual phenomena.
So the position of this apparent light in the sky and the position of an apparent position where the sky meets the ground, you're going to tell us that those two apparent positions of things prove something. Are you a bonehead?
He thinks he's debating the Flat Earth Society, and he doesn't understand.
I'm sorry, this is called
we're
the
not
Flat Earth
idiots.
debate, right?
Yeah, and you're telling us about things in the sky, apparent positions of lines in the distance. What the hell kind of crap is this? Do you want to tell us about your actual proof we live on a sphere, as
Oh.
opposed to apparent lines in the distance?
Daniel, we are so sorry that you watched all the fake flat Earth videos and you came here thinking you had ammunition. It's sad.
So,
Well,
All the garbage
I
out
don't know
there.
what you believe then.
we're not asking you.
We don't use beliefs.
God,
Jeez.
how many times have we got to say it to him?
I don't know what you think you know then.
We're asking
Well,
you what
I do
your
use
biggest
beliefs, but
proof
I
of the
don't
globe
base
is. Your
my
number one proof
foundational
of the globe
reality
is
on
to look at an apparent position of a light in the sky versus an apparent position where the ground meets the sky. That's what you've told us so far.
Yeah, they wouldn't intersect. My belief was that you believed in a flat Earth, and they would not intersect.
Because now you're making beliefs
No matter
about
how-
beliefs and actually using beliefs to straw man. You have straw man beliefs. I mean, that's just
Well,
incredible.
I didn't realize I was strawmanning.
No,
I did not
we
realize.
don't believe it is flat. We can determine it is flat by looking at it.
But that's irrelevant. We can jack up that it's not a ball. We're not saying it's
Yeah,
flat.
you know-
We're saying it's not a psycho supersonic space
Let's be
testicle
honest here.
spearheaded fantasy.
Let's be honest, Daniel. You know what we're doing here? Mostly, we're ripping your religion to shreds.
Without making any assertions.
Without your own an alternative.
Model?
Right.
Please say
That's
model.
how it
Please say
works.
it.
Well, I
Please
have
say it.
models, but I don't claim any validity to it.
Or
Please say
Arwen will get
model.
jacked
Come on,
up
Daniel.
just like you.
Yeah, we're not going to fall. See, we're here to get out of the trap. Because we used to be like you.
Oh,
Okay.
so you're very careful not to claim a model because you know that that'll
Oh,
just get
I
picked
claim
Because
a
apart.
model.
then
Models
we
are
turn out
pseudoscience.
getting our
Yes,
asses
proved
handed
apart.
to us.
Models are pseudoscience.
And the reification fallacy. And if you want flat Earth proofs, I have just completed an entire presentation on it for the 5th time.
Shout
Go
out to
back and
Dicker.
see it.
Shout out to Track.
Daniel, I've been rooting for you the whole time, man.
Who was that?
I mean, he is
Gosh.
a relatively nice guy. He's definitely.
Yeah,
I try not
he's
to
very
interrupt.
nice. He's very nice, man.
I don't know everything, so I can't be the
Yeah,
best.
but come on, Daniel.
Yeah?
You're stating the obvious. Why? Come on, you're not a child. Why do you? What kind of man says, "Well, I don't have"? I mean, that's obvious. Nobody does, Daniel. What do you think that's going to give you some insulation to when you get caught in BS? I mean, why do you even make that statement? I don't know have the answers to everything. Well, who does? Come on, that's a useless statement.
Without any answers, while we're saying we make no claims, you do. You think space is real. You think gravity is real. Despite the fact you've got no evidence to back these things and we've ripped them apart, you still will go away believing in them, right?
I would say that some evidence for the existence of space and the Earth being a ball.
What?
Would
Like
be
what?
The
What
live
is the
stream
evidence
from
for your
the
space?
ISS.
The only evidence is him saying it.
Hold on.
NASA.
Let him make another
Because
claim.
I don't believe that they are lying to everyone as a big.
Sorry,
Have you?
don't worry about
Do
that.
you have a collected space sample?
He's just said
A
I've got other
a chamber that
evidence.
would open
No
up to
problem.
space
Let's
and-
hear it then. What other
Taken
evidence
that?
do you have, Daniel?
Well, NASA's footage and pictures.
Oh, that's an appeal to authority, Daniel. Come on, you know this doesn't work in law. It doesn't work in science, and it doesn't work in reality.
You can't prove air pressure or the lack thereof through visuals only, because there's a funny thing about air. It's
Right.
transparent.
I can't quite believe what's just happened. So
You
Daniel,
know it's real because it looks so fake.
Hold on, Daniel. Sorry, did you just say pictures from NASA? And where
Yes.
would they be taking those pictures from?
ISS.
And where's that? Is it in space?
Space. Well,
Didn't we just go through this with
near-
you, Daniel? Man, you
Near-
have a short memory. Space can't exist. It defies the second law of thermodynamics. Unless you apply
Space-
your religious belief of gravity to your religious belief of space, it can't exist. You stupid
Even then, it
idiot.
doesn't work.
So you're
So
saying the
you
pictures
think the
taken...
live stream's fake?
Daniel, listen. You're saying the pictures taken from the fantasy medium of space? Is that what your evidence is? Space isn't real, Dumbo.
No, he just said The live, he said, so you think the live stream is fake? No, it's a live stream, but what is it showing you, Daniel? People
A screensaver.
Yeah.
Set. People on wires.
Okay. I'm gonna drop out. My brain, I cannot get over how much you have to think is fake and how many people you have to.
Look at how much
Welcome to the arena.
you're having to use. You're having to employ so much belief. It's sickening.
Sorry, we're not saying.
No,
sorry, Daniel, that
guys.
wasn't our argument, Daniel. Daniel, that's not our argument. We said, how do you have gas pressure? We're all breathing it, every last one of us. How do you have gas pressure next to a container? What we did not say was, all the people at NASA are lying to you. That's not what we said. We took it apart based on its scientific and logical validity, not based on who asserts it. So don't strawman us. That wasn't our argument. Did you not understand our argument, Daniel?
I understand your argument.
Right. Stop. So you understand that the medium of space, the one you've just claimed gives you your evidence, cannot be real. Don't laugh. This isn't funny.
Just because I don't
listen to me, you
No,
stupid little prick.
scientifically
No, you
impossible.
listen to me.
That's what
Listen.
they're saying.
Right, listen.
not.
You laugh. They're
It is.
educating children with this crap, and you think it's funny. I don't think this is funny. So I'll ask
Neither
you
do
again. I will ask you again. Do you not understand our arguments? The medium of space cannot be real. Do you understand?
I think he needs the liquid cardboard, Nathan. Give him the liquid cardboard.
That is incorrect.
No, it is correct.
Daniel.
Even if you assume that gravity were to be real,
Space.
then
Does it-
according to those foundational theories, whether they be real or not, it could not work. And they don't talk about this. They just give you this imagining of how it works and completely disregarding scientific law by all standards.
I'm still on the stage where we've said what's your best scientific evidence of this stuff, and he's asserted that pictures from a medium that cannot exist are his evidence. So what gives? Didn't you pay
As
attention
somebody
to
who
the last
claims
half
to
an
go to
hour?
college, that's embarrassing.
Didn't you pay attention to the last half an hour? Why would you assert that pictures taken from a medium that cannot possibly exist is evidence of anything other
He's
than
not
total
there.
The
fakery?
reason for not
If
possible-
I disprove the medium of the ISS, yeah, that ipso facto proves that the ISS is bunk. They're lying to you.
And you go through and I would say go through and prove the thing, but I need
Pictures are not evidence
Right.
for
Explain
anything
this.
related
Why
to
aren't you
gas
answering
or
me?
pressure.
Well,
Why is
can't
it that
make-
Arwin just starts up a new conversation? Why aren't you
Sorry.
answering me? The space bit doesn't conform with reality. You only have a religious belief about that part of your narrative. So why would you assert that pictures from a fairy tale medium are proof of something, other than that they're lying about the pictures themselves by the fact that they're taking them from a fairy tale medium?
It's. I'm sorry. I need to go and make some food. Do you want to let Rumpus in?
No,
And then,
please, no.
No, I want to know the
Randy
answer to my
just went
question.
late.
You're still here. Everyone answers for you, helping you along rather than letting you just answer the question. Why would
I'm
you
gonna keep
assert?
tuning in.
Why would you assert as evidence pictures from a fairy tale medium?
Because it's not fairy tale. I mean, it's simple as.
Sorry, we went
That's
through
my
how it was.
answer.
Sorry,
That's
did
my-
you not pay attention to the last half an hour of discussion? We just went through how it cannot be possible because of entropy that works in an open system, because of your religious belief of gravity not having any validity to it whatsoever. So what part of that didn't you listen to? Why are you now asserting that space can be real? It can't.
Oh, the power of social engineering from childhood.
You go through this whole process of explaining in so specific detail the scientific process and this kind of thing that it just gets too confusing for me to follow. So I'm gonna let
somebody who
scientific
believes in NASA
process.
saying that what we're saying is too confusing and complicated, that we make things confusing and complicated, and you use NASA as your example of proof. The most overcomplicating berserker explanation source in existence.
overcome.
We
Well,
overcome.
I understand what NASA says in
But we're too complicated. Okay, there we go. I love it.
because you go through this extremely long process that doesn't really mean anything.
Sorry, we go through the scientific method to test people's assertions that they have scientific backing for things. Precisely what you did. You claimed,
Come on, guys, NASA's simple.
You claimed
Simple.
gravity
It's
was
so easy,
science.
guys.
You claimed gravity was science. We explained to you how it wasn't. So now you're left with no science for your assertion.
If
then
it's
you
not,
told us that it was your
Right.
belief. So are you telling us that your beliefs in stuff are reality? Because they're not. They're just your beliefs. Your religious beliefs. We took you through this for an hour, right? I was still not getting an answer. We've said your best ball proof, and you've said pictures from a fairy tale medium that isn't possible, that I have no scientific backing for. I thought I did. I said I did, but I don't. So why would
I
you assert
started
that that's
off with,
proof of something? Pictures
the
from
sun,
space,
actually.
from a fairy tale medium, aren't proof of anything. What it does prove is that they're lying about the pictures, because they can't possibly be taking pictures. They're in a fairy tale medium.
Explain to him liquid cardboard, Nathan. He doesn't understand
okay,
that disproving
when you
the medium disproves everything about it.
When you asked my best proof for globe Earth, I said sunset, sunrise. There is a very complex and in-depth model of what the stars should look like at each point, and that is a sphere.
So what?
Models of
Models are
reification
pseudoscience. That's a
fallacy.
reification
No,
fallacy. Don't you pay
okay.
attention?
You go to any
Reification
point on
fallacy.
the Earth.
Are you just
and
going
you
to talk
look up
over us?
and
You've explained it. I listened.
know exactly what stars are above.
You explained it, and I
based-
listened. We took that apart
based on a
too.
globe.
Oh, you're just going to rumpus us. I thought you had to go.
I do have to go. You keep talking to me.
Yeah, because you
I'm
keep
gonna let Rumpus-
offering reification fallacies. So your sun's,
Rumpus-
number one,
I
it's
will be
not
back.
a physical thing. Number one,
You're not
you
letting
don't
me go
have
again. I'm just
physical
gonna go.
objects to look at. Number two, your model is not reality.
This is ridiculous. I'm gonna go. I'll come back another time. Don't worry. It's
What?
nice
Hold on,
to be on.
before you go,
Thank you.
why? Why? You don't know anything. Why would you come back?
Bye,
You don't
Felicia.
belong in this
Guys,
discussion.
It's quite entertaining.
Well, entertaining to take an idiot by the hand and lead him through stuff he doesn't understand. What are you going to come back for? You've got no place in this discussion. None.
Fine. I won't come back. I'll let Rumpus do it all then. You can deal with him.
Do what you like.
After
but
you
my
throw
point
your
is,
hat in the air,
you
then
offer-
come back and talk to us.
what is it you feel
Oh, if
you
this is
offer
still
here?
around-
What is it you
this
offer
is
here?
around
What is
in
it you
2
think you
years.
offer? Other than your religious belief.
What can I offer?
Yeah, other than your religious belief about stuff, what do you offer?
Yeah, not much. To be
Right.
honest,
So why would you want to come back?
it's quite funny.
What, to be humiliated? So you're basically a masochist.
I'm not being humiliated. I
Yes,
listen,
you
not
are.
to people.
You told
care
us you
about
had science. You don't. Are you going to tell us again that you've got science for gravity?
Hang on, Nathan. He's like the guy at the party who passed out drunk and then got a dick drawn on his face. And because he doesn't know the dick is drawn on his face, he's not embarrassed. But we're all laughing because he's got a dick on his face. But because he doesn't know he has a dick on his face, he refuses to admit that it's funny.
Well, I am saying it is funny.
But you don't know why it's funny. You don't know why it's funny. It's funny because you have a dick on your face.
When
Literally,
you-
yeah.
the first question you asked was,
And with that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, you know exactly what to do. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!